I'm not going to say it.
Come on, you go see that all every time. And
What's your mother?
Oh my gosh.
That's a fine mustache.
I just want to point out that Zach is happy now. His friend's here.
Just don't raise your
hand.
right hand. Whatever you do.
Wait a second.
Not raise your hand.
I'll say the second half of the sentence. You say the first. You do the first. And repeat after me.
I just want to point out that we love y'all for showing up, especially Gratu. What's going on, man?
Thank you for not turning away right after you saw that.
And also, Pixel, I just gotta say,
oh, I don't know.
I'm glad that you didn't use real hair this time. The last time he did this, he got hair and he was spitting the whole entire time, and he wasn't under the bridge. All right. For those of you who don't know what we're doing here, we talk about comic books. We talk about this awesome back issues, especially on our Friday night retrospectives.
Can I just say that with that mustache, at least he looked old enough to get into PG-13 movies without his mommy?
He did.
And even with that mustache, he also has the white elbow, so I mean, Zach likes him more. And so, yeah, we're talking about Miss Marvel. Not Kamala Khan. We don't care about that crap. We're talking about Carol Danvers, the OG Miss Marvel. I got to say, man, from 1970, hey, of course you have it. I was looking it up. That's like a $125 book.
Yeah, I believe it.
Has a fine male figure
Now,
in there,
I don't
too.
know what grade
is.
$125 is. Probably a low grade, maybe, or high grade. I'm not sure.
No, 125 is like factory mint.
Oh, okay.
Which this is not by any stretch.
Hey, it doesn't look faded.
No, it looks good. These bags I use make them make everything look better.
Hold on, let me full screen you for that. Get you up there. There you go.
1 second, I need reading glasses for this. I can't see shit.
There you are, right?
Nice copy. Nice copy.
All right. Hello to JR. What's going on? All right, and I apologize for the echo. It's been happening since Zach showed up.
I don't hear an echo.
Oh,
Nobody else hears an echo, but
I can't hear anything over the sound of my own voice.
Hey, if no one else hears the echo, that's great. I just get to hear myself for free.
I'm not aware of anybody that's having to pay for that.
Of course, I have an awesome voice, so no one is paying for that.
We're all paying for it in one way or another.
All right, so Miss Marvel, the OG, I gotta say, I've read this book before. I couldn't remember where I read it.
Here, on the channel. You don't remember, really?
Because, where is it? I looked at the playlist. It's not in any of the playlists.
Somewhere. Over the rainbow.
I thought we read this, unless it's one of the where JJJ decided not to upload it.
Because I don't know who that is. Well, I know who that is. I don't.
Someone didn't put enough J's in his name, probably, when we read it.
Well, even the Scorpion put all 3 J's in.
Yeah, so he wasn't jolly enough to actually let us have this wonderful reading up on the channel. But I know I've read this before. It's probably like my second time now or third time. Still a fun story. I'm going all the way through. I love the fact that she, this is basically the first issue. It's her arriving at after stopping some crooks, she flies away, and then Carol Danvers basically stops over at the Daily Bugle, and that's why Pixel is dressing up, or I guess cosplaying as JJJ, because we get to see Spider-Man, Mary Jane interaction with Carol Danvers. We even get the Scorpion here too. It is a fun book.
You got to point out real quick that at this point she doesn't know she's Ms. Marvel.
Exactly, she has
the
amnesia
hook to begin the series.
Yeah,
doesn't have amnesia. She just doesn't know.
Oh,
it hasn't been
when she calls
herself. Doesn't know what she does in the morning. Really?
So I gotta say, this is Gerry Conway writing this. It kind of felt like a Spider-Man story because it felt like it just really felt like an early Spider-Man story. Jonah gets captured, and Spider-Man reluctantly has to go save him. In this case, Miss Marvel makes a little quip at the end, and just call me Miss Marvel, and leaves him handcuffed still, and flies away. and of course we get the classic Joan where he's so grumpy, and then he's wants to he's arguing with her in the beginning of this when he meets Carol for her year of Sarley. She says 30,000. He's like, all right, 20, 25, and then he goes to, and then she's like 30, 22. And then she's like 30. He's like, God damn it, I can't argue with a woman. Fine, we're doing 30. So my question here is though, I guess this takes place right around Amazing Spider-Man 165 and 164.
Yeah.
Where was Robbie?
Robbie.
Or sorry, or not Robbie, but Joe.
That is Robbie.
So where was he in this though? Because she's getting the editor job.
No. She's getting the editor. She's the editor of a magazine called Woman.
Yeah, she's not the She's not the editor of the Daily Bugle.
Okay,
she's the editor
she's got
of
her
a
own
magazine that Jonathan also.
All
runs.
right,
That's why Pixel was saying, yeah, magazine or recipes, diets.
Yeah,
that's what I want in a magazine.
Damn right. What every woman wants. I know just what women want.
Maranya, I'm gonna be a little bit realistic here. This book was aimed towards men. That's why we have the midriff.
I don't know, because at the beginning she's beating up these bank robbers. It's like her little intro, and there's the little girl in the crowd. She's like, I want to be like her when I grow up. Good, wholesome family.
See, I read that a little differently. I said, Mommy, I want to dress like a trollop when I grow up.
Well, better than her seeing current Captain Marvel be like, Mom, I want to look like a man when I grow up.
So, yeah. Mr. Pixel, when you'd like to go off the cover, let's know.
But it's such a nice cover.
It is a beautiful cover. It's a beautiful.
She's a beautiful woman.
Yes. That cover is that is like
it's my second favorite costume.
Do you guys know who drew that cover? Not Breen. The other kids.
Breen did not draw it. That's right.
John Buscema.
No.
On the inside.
No. You're close, so you're half right.
No, he did the interiors, but he did not do the cover.
Well, who did the cover? It wasn't John Byrne.
No, but you're half right again.
Again,
how many times can you get half of it right?
John, who else? What
else? John, who else?
Wait,
John Romita Sr.?
There you go.
Yes, there you go.
Third time's the charm.
Jeez Louise, sweet Christmas kid.
You can tell, but you know how you tell? Look at how Mary Jane looks on the cover.
Oh, I wasn't looking at Mary Jane. She's the floating head. I was looking at
the way Jameson's drawn and the way and Peter's drawn classic. That's John Romita Sr. signature.
Okay.
Also, Carol has a floating head in the box, right?
That doesn't.
Does she?
I know. I know it's really count those. So this guy is horribly disfigured.
No, they're dead.
I know they're dead.
It looks like they have saran wrap wrapped around their faces.
They might as well. They're dead.
Pretty much what it is.
I guess they actually had you're supposed to believe it's supposed to be pantyhose. They put over their face.
Oh, maybe. Okay, I could see that too.
But you don't see the thing hanging out. You just. It's like
the thing's not in this book.
You know why?
No, that's fantastic.
Because the blood and
the
brain matter are in the way.
Yeah,
that's what you're seeing.
Also, okay, so I was reading this, and this panel on the left, the bottom left, are those the guys that were in the car going through the roof?
Yes, they got up.
I keep saying they're dead, Jim.
They're dead.
They're dead, Jim.
They're so dead.
Wouldn't it be right to let them live?
I don't know what they did to Franklin.
He was our friend.
He was their friend too.
So I want to point this out. She's got her own spider sense.
Yeah, the seventh sense. Yeah.
I did not know this.
I want to know what the sixth sense is.
Right?
Yeah, it's like they skip 6 and go straight to
the sixth sense is when I guess when there's sales on clothing and
It's called the woman's intuition, Breen. You'll learn about these things when you grow up.
You beat me by 2 seconds, Jameson.
Thank you, Adolf.
Adolf. Steve did that one time. Never again. Anyway, yes, we watch as this criminal keeps kicking these other criminals around. Unacceptable.
I missed it when
you created him.
That's true.
So, I just want to say I missed it. I missed when you see a cop saying "Hold it, Buster."
Freeze, Buster.
Don't you know that's actually his name? Middle name.
Oh, was the other guy Dave?
That's right.
Dave and Buster's?
Thank you for that.
You're welcome. That's why I'm
I
here.
was not being sincere.
I like the Scorpion. I like the older Scorpion costume too. I really like, and I didn't know, or maybe I did know and I just forgot, but I did not know as I was reading through this that at this point the costume was like permanently, he was like permanently trapped inside it. He couldn't take it off.
Right. Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
I'd say about a week, maybe 10 days tops into that, he's as dead as the guys that went through the roof of the car. Think about that.
Well,
I'm thinking about it.
I'm just thinking about it.
And he smells pretty bad too.
I was gonna say,
Yeah. Oh, he's gonna smell. Yeah.
he's not only he's gonna be sweated up, but he's gonna be well. There's nothing. There's no.
There you go.
You can't use the restroom.
That's right.
Yep.
That's
All
the innocence of old comics.
So you really don't need spider sense to detect him.
No.
The innocence of old comics as
You-
a half-naked
you just-
woman steps into the street. That's
So,
right.
I,
You just
yeah,
need one of your seven senses,
So-
and we know which one it is.
I remember when
The
cops
old
used to have.
instrument.
So this is also cops used to have PD on the hood of their cars too, and they go ree.
Pretty dope.
They used to sound like Karens. What?
That gag at the World Trade Center, that doesn't go over well anymore.
All right,
Oh,
so,
yeah,
so
that
of
doesn't- yeah,
course,
that
so
doesn't,
for
hit
those who
quite
haven't,
as-
those who haven't read this before, everybody thinks that it's a publicity stunt because there's no way a woman can take out two guys or a bunch of guys like that. Or
What a
car.
bunch of sexist thinking.
I know, right? And the cops are like, "Well, you're gonna have to
Pigs.
see her there," and then she flies away. And of course, this quick cut to Jonah who's watching his private films, and then he gets interrupted by Carol Danvers.
Nobody
Right.
cared about it
They're
before I
watching like
showed
a-
up.
They're watching like a newsreel or something.
Damn right.
I don't think
Look
it's
at
a
those
private
And the
film.
Allied forces have made it to Antwerp.
Ah, yes, those
So-
were the days.
And of course, it's the '70s, so we get the '70s style, Carol Danvers with the hair and the pop
Salary.
yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, Jonas and being a cheapskate is
So
all
this
Listen,
is.
wait a minute.
I want to say this is great because we get like classic Jonah. Jonah being a buffoon, yelling at her, and then she pretty much just puts him in his place.
What'd you call me?
a buffoon.
He called you a buffoon, sir. Are you going to put up with that?
No, I'm not. But we got to get through this. We're on a tight schedule.
Now you tell us.
I do like though, like as you go throughout this issue, it does. You were right when you said at the beginning. It does read like a Stan Lee Spider-Man.
It does.
Like,
And
even the narration boxes, it's not Stan Lee writing, but he's trying to mimic that Stan Lee method of storytelling.
Well, that
Let's
was
take a
all
breather.
Marvel comics.
so
at
the
time.
other thing is here is like this. I love John Buscema, and I believe John Buscema is the guy who hated drawing comics, right? Not his brother. His brother was Sal was the one who
No,
loved it.
he didn't like drawing superhero comics. He liked Sword and
Yeah.
Sorcery.
So imagine how great this would be if Gary Conway and Gene Colan on this.
I think Buscema was every bit. I actually like Buscema better than Colan.
Really,
I
I like the way Colan draws.
He's the
girls.
king.
I gotta wonder. So
93 years old this past week.
So Carol's got to be like late 20s, maybe early 30s at this point. How desperate is she for a friend that she's hanging out with a college student named Mary Jane?
Well, I want to know. I want to know that why is Matt Gargan hanging out with Morbius' father?
He does look like Morbius' father. He does. I can't unsee that now.
Morbius, you're Gerwin.
Yeah,
Gorman.
Take a long look, Ritas. We may be seeing this man again.
All right, you're not trusty. Don't ever try that again. We don't want to offend anybody, okay?
Well, Trusty's not here, so I'm trying to fill the void of a Stan Lee impersonator.
And he doesn't even realize that he just insulted the hell out of me.
Exactly. And me.
Yeah, kind of.
You know what? I'm kind of insulted too.
But then I had a moment to think about it. I said, good God, how desperate am I if I'm hanging out with these? This rabble.
You're so lucky I was even awake to see this. Yeah, it's real. Imperial Goddess is actually a cat. She sleeps during the day.
At least they took the time to explain why she could afford that apartment.
That's
Yes,
true.
because she sold a book on space.
Yeah, it was like royalties, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she used to work, and I guess she's even she's like, why did you leave that?
Well, if I remember correctly, she was in those early Captain Marvels and then wasn't anywhere for a few years. So I guess this happened while she was off canvas, so to speak.
I remember this attack so well.
I remember when he broke your neck.
Minding my own business.
Vengeance
Giant
is
green
love.
tail knocking me to the ground. Then being lifted up by a man that smelled like utter shit.
And whose fault was that?
That's right.
His! He's the one who hit me!
You did it, Jameson.
He didn't even have the dignity to go ahead and say,
I really did like the whole she didn't know that she was Carol. I would like to see if modern comics could do that with the hero again, because everybody at this point knows that they're like Bruce Banner and like knows he's the Hulk, and everybody knows who they are. I really like this whole Carol didn't know who Miss Marvel was. Miss Marvel didn't know who Carol was.
and everyone knows that Reed Richards is elastic, and Sue, she fades from sight.
And right here,
Damn right.
right here, classic Spider-Man thing. Spider-Man can talk to somebody, and then same with Carol, and then the cop show up, and then she leaves. Doesn't want to stick around.
Yeah.
I said that they really wanted this to feel. Well, I guess that must have been their formula for this, is make it feel like a Spider-Man book, because Spider-Man was actually selling really well, I guess, around this time.
Yeah.
How dare you say that name in my presence?
I think they even say that in this book, don't they?
We do. It happened. It's Spider-Man.
Yes.
Carol says, is it Carol that says Spider-Man? And Jameson's like, never say that name in this office.
You're jumping the gun, son.
Oh,
We'll get there.
My bad. I
Yes.
didn't remember
Jane came
in the middle
in.
of the end.
She fooled around a little bit and didn't know what she was doing, and suddenly I was free. Totally convenient.
Look him up as a misogynist. That sounds very bad. Who on earth are you? It's like Scorpion, and then even Scorpion doesn't believe her, because she says, like, I have Kree powers. Like, but you sound like just like you don't have an accent. So apparently the Kree have accents, so they sound like any foreigner.
Yeah.
Right?
Any foreigner?
That's
There are
how
many different types of foreigners.
I'm just saying. So they must sound alien to the United States.
I think they
And
have to sound-
also, how would I guess?
Oh, he's losing teeth right
So
there.
is-
too. I didn't notice that last
So has
time.
Scorpion met Captain Marvel?
I think he probably just watches the news, because he talks about like how the Kree sentries have fought like the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. So
But,
he could just be a well-informed citizen.
Well, he knows who Captain Marvel is, so he sees
That's
someone
true.
who looks like him.
Yeah, that's true. Because I mean, the symbol and the color scheme on the costume, yeah.
She doesn't. She's not really vulnerable in the back or the front. You know why? Because she's like she's. Well, yeah, she's got Kree power. She's got. You could punch her in the back. It's I don't think she's gonna like keel over because it's like she's got strong resilience. She's
So
a
the next
superhero.
time we see Scorpion, is he like horribly deformed and like melted because of the acid?
No,
So-
we see him again in issue 2, and he's back to normal.
So classic here, classic Spider-Man here. We get Jameson basically complains like, and it's like, wait, my hands are still chained. She's like, until then, trying to make a nasty judgment about me. And then he's like, what about my hands? And then she smiles, and then she leaves. It's just like I said, it's kind of why I like this issue. Now the second issue is going to be like more of her origin story, but with the series going on, it's a fun series. Definitely recommend people check this out. I mean, I believe Jameson's in every issue, right?
No, but he's in the first couple.
Only in the first couple. Okay.
Listen, I was busy. I had a bigger book to be in.
Down that hubcap stealing, cake devouring, skyscraper defiling menace.
You didn't even say it right. What is wrong with you?
Okay, we'll let him have it.
All right.
JJJ, we'll give him an easier one this time.
We're not gonna
Wait. Zach, what city does this take place in?
Oh, good God.
Come on. You got a kid?
The Big Apple.
You son of a bitch.
Apple City.
It doesn't have the same ring.
New York
Doesn't
City.
even come to it. I'm more
New
insulted
York!
now than when she said Spider-Man.
We really got off track here.
I know, and I just want to say, Pixel, don't ruin your voice because later on
You're gonna have to scream Spider-Man again. I know.
So none of this. You're gonna cop out like I can't do it, guys.
I already have it scheduled. I'm not copping out.
Oh, so LK brings up an interesting point here. I didn't know this. She got her power from sunlight. Miss Marvel, I mean, because I did not know that. I didn't know that she got power. She got strengthened by the sunlight.
I guess I'd forgotten that.
And that's why she's like Corey. Just needs to have less clothes.
There you go.
Starfire, Miss Marvel. That's why she has a bathing suit.
There you go. I'm okay with this. This is canon.
You were okay with it beforehand. Don't act like you weren't.
But yeah, so yeah, of course we get left with the cliffhanger dilemma. She's like she can't go to the doctor because they'll discover her secret stuff, or even a therapist because. Yeah, so she's left that dilemma. She can't go anywhere, but she's also has to figure herself, and I like the fact she even says, like, it's like, if we just get rid of Jameson, it's actually a nice place.
Well, she's stick around for a
I
little
come
bit.
here and bless you all with my presence, and all I get are insults.
I sent the link to Pixel, so you kind of
Don't know who that is.
You barged in.
Oh, okay. No, LK was being a smart aleck. Okay, so she doesn't get her powers from sunlight. You had me fooled, LK.
Wait. He's being an Alex. I don't trust Alex. We stand behind those guys.
That's Alec with a C.
And he said with a C.
Yeah,
you read?
Alex as in plural, Alex.
But LK said with a C. So both you can't read. All right, guys. So I gotta say, I mean, this is a $125 issue, which Breen's got. He's gonna send to me later on. But
No, he's not.
Don't kill my dreams.
You keep dreaming, kid. You keep dreaming, and all you'll end up with is nothing in the street.
All right, where's the kick button?
This is why people. This is why people still hubcaps.
I gotta say, so short is gonna be a short review for this. That's why I usually like to do at least 2 issues so we can have more to talk about. Otherwise, we go through it way too fast. But that being said, do you guys have any other recommendations for what you guys want to see review on this channel? I know someone had brought up Red Sun, so possibly doing that. There probably won't be a retrospective next week because, well, Mr. Pixel decided he can't make it. But
He didn't show up this week, and he's not showing up next week. When does he show up?
I mean, we saw him this week. We saw him in the beginning of the stream.
Is he finally having that finger reduction surgery?
I mean, he does show up when we do our Wednesday night Bad Batch reviews.
Well, I think what it is that
I thought that was the puppet.
I think puppet.
Oh, you're right. That is the puppet. I get them confused.
Yeah, I think he got assaulted by Puppetine. Assaulted. All right, so that being said, I hope you guys had fun with this. We'll be going live in 30 minutes, unless you guys want to dick around for 30 minutes, talk about nothing. I mean, this is why I like to do more than one issue.
I don't know if you want to say dick
You
around.
already said that.
Oh, well, let me go ahead and just say it's a very good read. Entertaining characters that you know from elsewhere, but they're here as well. It's nice, enjoyable. The main character's interesting. You're going to want to find out whenever the hell she finds out about herself. You got all sorts of things going for it.
And I suspect there's a pretty good chance that this was written by Carla Conway.
What a woman.
Who is suspected of ghostwriting a lot of her husband's books in the 70s because there's no way in hell he could have written everything he's credited for in that decade.
Wait, you're saying that there was women back in Marvel? Marvel didn't even say that. They said there's no women writers before 2010.
They weren't saying that before that, though. But you saw, I think this book even said, or it said with an assist from Carla Conway.
I
like that.
She does everything.
So, and this is also edited by, or actually coloring by Marie Severin on this. Conway is also editing, and John Costanza on doing the lettering. Joe Sinnott doing the inking on this over Buscema. Yeah, like I said, it's a nice book. It's they do have collections out. Well, they're probably out of print now. I know I had sold one, or actually gave it to on I Love Comics, where I had him sell it for me. I think Zach, you bought it. It was volume 2. The nice cover.
Yes, it is. If I turn around, do I still have it in here? It might be somewhere else.
Did y'all do the retrospective already?
It is.
You know, he showed up just as Arnold Rugg asking, "What did I miss?"
You're gonna put a therapist's daughter through an expensive college someday. You know that, right?
That's three identities. Now that's the count. 4.
It's actually cool. You see it. It starts at issue 15, and it goes through to number 23. There's a.
If only we could see this awesome book.
Well, hold on a second.
It's gone now.
He's just pretending he has it. And he's
hold on.
There he is.
You know I have it.
No one else does though.
He's got it.
Let me give you a full screen there, son.
There you go.
So, baby,
look at that Japanese hentai.
So it starts.
Love the tentacles.
She still has. Look, Maranya, she covers the midriff in these. I hope you're happy.
But then
everybody else wasn't.
Look at the third issue though.
The shoulder gets torn off.
Ripped.
But then somewhere around here, she switches over to, I think, the best costume.
Yes.
The Warbird S.
I believe that's issue 46.
No, that is issue 20. That is 20 right there.
All right. It's hard to read.
And then, you got a few other episodes, or issues, not episodes. You've got her fighting Deathbird, I believe. Then you got an issue of Marvel Superheroes in there. This does also have Avengers number 200 and annual number 10, which I believe is the first appearance of, is it Rogue?
Yes.
Okay.
And I showed the book last night. 16 is the first cameo of Mystique. Another cameo in 17, and then 18's first full appearance.
Issue 16? The one with the giant squid?
Hold on.
No. Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, that's 16. Yeah.
Oh, okay. When does Rogue steal her, her conscience? Is that a recall?
No, that was Avengers 10.
Okay.
Avengers
I do
Annual
have
10.
to make a small side note.
All right.
This mustache stayed on the entire freaking time that I was waiting to turn on the camera. And as soon as I turn it on, it drops.
Mr. Pixel, can I point out that Zach looks like he's the last man on Earth? He's got his bathrobe on, everything.
This isn't a bathrobe.
You want me to put my bathrobe on?
This is an overshirt with a hood.
I don't want you derobing.
Wouldn't it be just robing? If I put it on?
Constantly robing. Ronald, we actually got through the book real fast within 27 minutes because Pixel just want to keep clicking, and then it's a short issue.
It is. Wait, I get to be serious for a minute, okay?
And hey Jay, we saw your comment from last night. You just showed up now.
So it is a very short issue.
Yeah.
18 pages. That's actually 17 pages of story because one of the pages counts as a cover. So you have a ridiculous.
No, one of the pages has a Hostess fruit pie ad in it.
Not on the Marvel Unlimited app.
I was about to say it didn't. I read it.
It does. It has.
You get a big delight in every bite.
It's the Hulk versus this lady she's called Marigold, and she has these vegetable army or gang, and he ends up defeating them, and they get arrested. Yes, all they want is the hosted fruit pies.
I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna have that in here. I only have the facsimile reprint.
Well, the facsimile should have ads in it.
I get beautiful ads like this.
Well, depends. Is it the $4 one? It usually has the ads printed in there.
Excuse me,
this
children.
They did the $1.
Children,
The true believers.
The three faces of Eve down there in the right-hand corner. It was making a point.
I was saying.
Wait, who's Eve?
Eve Warlock. No. Anyway, it's only 17 pages of a story. However, even though it's like slightly spun off, like in the lightest terms, a spin-off of Spider-Man.
Can you get to the point? Now I know why
it tells its story very quickly. It was told also very cheaply. Well, it wasn't told cheaply.
Wow.
But it's sold cheaply. It was a good price. You got your bang for your buck in 17 pages. It was worth it. Why can't we have this today?
It was only 30 cents.
I know. Today, you get an origin story for somebody like Kamala Khan. It takes 6 issues at $4 a pop. That's $24.
Don't they just? Then the second volume wasn't it just a reboot?
The second.
Weren't they all reboots
of Carol Danvers?
Yeah, weren't they all just reboots?
It just picked up where she was as a character when the series started. It just kind of
was this the second
started.
volume? The Brian Reed one?
Yeah, that's the next time she got her own book. Yes.
This is the ad at the back of the book. The best ad is at the back of the book.
Oh,
I like the Brian Reed run, actually. The Brian Reed run was a lot of fun.
It was. And that's why they're making sure that this new Captain Marvel gets to 51, so they can say it lasted longer than the misogynist Brian Reed run.
So, anyway, this book being able to tell its story so quickly, it's just astounding that we don't really have anything like it today. I'm going to pull Rob here. I talk about a TV show over on the Extreme Movie Show, Dark Shadows. Peak of television for me. It is the best show. It's the best. And books like this, exactly.
So I want a question. Where do you get the 18 pages from? Because everybody else says 36 pages.
He can count.
Yeah, it says on the thing when I pull it up. It is 17 pages of actual story, and the first page is the cover on the Marvel Unlimited app.
And by the mid to late 70s, comics were down to 17 pages for a single issue. I said that Strange Apparitions, the Steve Englehart, Marshall Rogers Batman story that I always champion, those were all 17-page issues.
And it does it brilliantly. It's a fantastic. Being able to tell your story, you do not need to go into the next issue, but you're interested by the end, but you got your full tale.
Right.
And that's what matters, especially with a breakout issue like this. And we've done a few readings on this channel where they certainly bulk up for that startling first issue, but here they're able to do it rather quickly, and it's a shame it's rather short-lived.
Ronald, we started like 30 minutes ago. We went through the issue with like a blink of Pixel's eye.
A blink of Pixel's finger. Wait.
No, we would all be on page 3 if we were measuring it like that.
There it is.
Why I don't have to stand here and put up with that.
Yes, you do.
No, you can sit down and put up with it. You don't have to stand.
They went down in a number of pages, and I felt cheated back then. This is because I'm old.
I actually appreciate the smaller number of pages because I read a lot of comics throughout the week for various streams and reasons. And so if I can get a short story, it saves time. And I'm like, if I can get a complete story in that sitting, then I'm like, double win. So
double win.
Double W. Yeah.
Double who?
When will this? Whenever you want, Venkman. You're the one. You're captain.
You have the button. It's right there.
Wait. I own the channel now. Okay.
In all red.
We're
not keeping you.
All right.
Say goodbye.
All right. So you're saying I have control over the channel then? Thank you.
For this stream, yes, you do. For the stream. Don't go too far.
All right. Hope you guys had fun tonight. And
I sure did.
I did.
there won't be a retrospective next week unless we do one without the kid. Well, one of the two.
Well, to make up for it, how about if all four of his personalities just do it themselves next Friday?
Pixel Puppeteen, Christopher
I
Walken,
was going to say
and
Pixel Puppeteen,
Jonas
JJJ.
Jameson.
You know, it's
and
possible.
whatever you call yourself when you're not on the air.
It is possible the guy from Dirty Jobs recorded himself singing different parts of a song, so Pixel could do that.
That's the thing that people do, right? They record themselves singing and then they plug it in at different intervals on the same. Yeah, you could do that.
If I had the time and the talent, then I'd do that.
That'd be a thing. It would be a time.
Well, but I'll tell you, if you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Miller beer. That's right.
You had to be there when I was gathering up 35 cents to get a book. My crew felt robbed.
You just had to search the couch.
God, I would have loved to live
you
back
know
then.
what? We need a new feature on Friday nights. Graphic Man, remember? Wow, when I was a boy.
Back in my day.
One second.
Graphic Man.
When I
You had to be there when I was gathering up 35 cents to get a book. My crew felt robbed.
Can we get Foster Brooks to read that?
I didn't know we had General Mortis showing up tonight.
You had to be there when I was gathering up 35 cents to get a book. My crew felt robbed.
All right. We're all 35 cents more richer if we listen to that.
Now, if we did one of these retrospectives, if he's doing General Mortis and I'm doing Foster Brooks, we can take up that hour.
You know, I could just do Walken and we'll call it an even 45. A good evening for us
Guys,
all.
we're gonna do that. I'm gonna start drinking.
We're confusing so many people in the chat right now, like Austin P.
That's because you're not checking out the readings. We do readings here like 2 nights a week. If you're not checking them out, what are you doing? What else do you have going on in your life? Come on, kill an hour.
You know,
there's
it's
anything better to do than watch us butcher comics.
If you're not too busy sleeping all day, you actually might know what we're doing.
You started out as
That
Kermit
would
the
make
Frog,
one
and then
of
you
us.
turned
I
into
hope
something else.
I never was doing Kermit the Frog.
No, you're doing
How
Kermit the
dare you
Frog.
assume I'm doing that, you bastard?
Ray
Listen
goes,
here, you
"I'm
cousin."
Regular, and even I'm confused.
I do check out half the ratings. The other half, I don't give a shit about.
You're saying you don't give a shit about Spider-Man?
Yes!
Nobody
I know!
I don't think I've
Nobody
ever
gives
said that
a
on
bigger
camera.
shit about Spider-Man than you, J. Jonah Jameson.
You all who were spoiled back in the day, getting comic books every week. I got comic books once a year.
That's not General Mortis, but I love it, Bangman. Why? Where is? We need to give him a role that he can just do that.
I know something.
Vulture's new voice. That's
something
it.
that goes beyond.
Now
the
they
whole-
call me Prospector Willie. I'm always working in the mine carts.
I like it. We need to add this character to your.
I'm like
to your
Doc Savage. I've been
repertoire.
locked in a tomb for 50 years.
Damn right. I'm gonna send the puppet over in just a minute. Don't you worry.
I prefer apples, not bananas.
Can we end this misery?
All right. We'll see y'all in 20 minutes. Or not.
Fantastic.
And
I'll see
read
myself
the
regardless.
And read the
Sorry.
original Miss Marvel run. You won't regret it.
Good night.
Hey,
And good
hey,
luck.
Austin, we haven't done the Rod virus, but if you're requesting that, we'll do that tonight.
Oh no.
But
The
I
rawhide
think
virus has been replaced with a singing
Yeah,
virus.
That's right.
Virus
We have the
is
musical
always
virus
better.
now.
Kazar has inspired the singing virus.
Kazar
That's the only thing
has
you're
a
getting
trick
in
for
Spider-Man
you.
tonight.
also, on the end of this note, I'll see you in 20 minutes, Lorraine.
Oh,